good, good morning, everyone. So I'm just going to introduce myself. So I'm nintendnat, and I'm going to be running Startropics. And with me on comms today, I have 83KY. I'm just going to set the name up in here, and then we can start time and get this going. Okay, so 3, 2, 1, go. So we are Mike Jones. We are an ace pitcher, and we've landed on a tropical island called Sea Island, and we are gonna visit our uncle, or so we think. We need to speak to a few people on the way so that we can progress the game. And we're gonna head in here and speak to the chief, who's gonna tell us what's going on. Unfortunately, our uncle who we've come to visit, Dr. Jones, he's been abducted. We don't know what by yet. And the chief gives us our first weapon of the game, which is actually a yo-yo, although in the Switch version of the game, they refer to the weapon as a star because yo-yo is technically proprietary, so that's the reason for that, but it's a yo-yo. And so we're going to go and try and find our missing uncle. We're going to speak to a few more NPCs on the way out here. And this is the shaman of the village. And hopefully we won't see her again, because if we do, then that means we have gamed over. So hopefully we won't have that happen. So straight into the first dungeon of the game. The game is split into 8 chapters. Chapter 1 is kind of just getting you used to using your yo-yo weapon. The enemies are kind of fairly straightforward if you don't walk into them. And the other thing the game is getting us used to is the kind of grid-like movement of Mike. So you can only move in a grid, and it's kind of this top-down type view that we've got going on here. The other thing I should probably mention is about the kind of movement of the game. A lot of the speedrunning strategy that we use in this game is buffering our inputs. So we're kind of pressing our next input before we go onto the next one. It just makes the movement quicker through the game. That's kind of the main premise and strategy for running this. And we got our first sub weapon here, which some runners use it. I don't tend to use it. So we've got some boss music going on here now. So we're heading into the boss territory shortly. And we're not actually going to fight this boss, hopefully. So this is Sea Serpent. So we're just going to damage boost using our iframes over the top of the snake. So Sea Serpent doesn't get any attention at all. That bit can be quite RNG based. Sometimes it can take a while for Sea Serpent to actually spit out a fireball. So that was pretty quick, which is what we want. And that's it. We've done our first dungeon. Wow, you've done it.
You've really done it now.
We've really done it now. This game is kind of renowned for being very difficult. It's probably more difficult casually than it is in a speedrun. To be honest, there's lots of kind of trap rooms and false exits and lots of kind of confusing parts of the game on a kind of casual playthrough. I'm not saying that the speedrun is easy by any means, but it's, yeah, casually it's much more difficult. So we are now in Sub-C, which is our submarine, and we're heading out further to try and find what has happened to our uncle. And we're into chapter 2, which is called Dolphins. So, this is a mum dolphin, and her son has been kidnapped, and she's asked us if we will go and find her son, and of course we will go and look for her son for her. Luckily, our onboard robot can speak dolphin, so that's handy. And we speak to this lady in the hut, and she's going to tell us that there's a bottle on the beach, and that might be a clue to where the lost dolphin is. Captured by evil aliens. So we now know what's happened to our uncle. And we have a code there to enable our submarine to submerge and progress through the rest of this level. And we're into the second dungeon, so this is the chapter 2 dungeon. Generally, again, fairly straightforward. It's the chapter after this where things kind of start to get more tricky. So again, just kind of buffering all the movements and the yo-yos.
Small buffer there to line up the section here.
Yeah, that's right. That means we can just hop all the way around. The timing works out perfectly, so that's why we do the little jump and yo-yo throw at the beginning there. Sometimes those octops can be a bit of a pain, but they behave themselves today, so we'll take that. So now we're going to use our baseball bat to very quickly kill all of those enemies. If you don't do that, they start darting around the room randomly, and it can take quite a while to kill them.
And that's the only time the baseball bat gets used in the game.
Yeah, sadly, because it's such a good weapon. But yeah, that's the only time we use it.
So some of the rooms require you to kill all the enemies, and that room only has that one bat you have to kill to open the door.
Yeah, exactly. So that's part of like learning the run, learning which enemies to kill in rooms and which ones that you can skip and which ones that you can damage boost through as well. Ooh. And we are into a very cool boss in the game. This is Octo the Huge. So what we're going to do here is we're going to wait for Octo the Huge to drop down so that we can damage. Again, that's really like very RNG based, and we're using our snow doll weapon that we picked up in the chest to freeze Octo in place. It is possible to one-cycle the boss with using just one snow doll. We're using really decent buffer strats, but I'm a very average runner of this game, so I will be using both the snow dolls to be safe. And I just want to give a shout out to my Octo beanie here. So this is the crochet version of Octo the Huge. Shout out to Mickey Dadrad for making this. We love the Octo Beanie. It's one of my prized possessions. And we've got another wow, you've done it. And we've rescued the dolphin, and they're going to lead us out of this area and out of chapter 2.
We have a moment here. If there's something to be read, it can be done now.
Yeah.
Absolutely. We've had a $10 donation from Anonymous who simply says, Wii U, Wii U, Wii U. Thank you very much for your donation.
Thank you. Okay, so something bad's happened. There's been a storm, and our sub-C is very much broken, unfortunately. So we have to walk. So chapter 3, this is the longest chapter in the game. It's kind of split into 3 sections. It's very difficult. This is where the difficulty really kind of like spikes up in the game. So this first dungeon that we're going into for chapter 3 is lovingly called RNG Hell, because all of the enemies in here move around in very random patterns, so that we kind of need to be on our toes. Sometimes you can end up chasing enemies around, or they can be chasing you around. So these are some of the random enemies that we have in here. So these are flying monkeys, so they jump around completely randomly, and they take 2 hits to kill, so can be tricky to do it quickly if you don't get kind of good patterns of movement in there, and sometimes you can take damage as well for that reason, which I just have there. This is where the runs go to die sometimes. I'm just going to play it quite safe here today. But yeah, this shows you the random nature of those enemies there. This is another sub-weapon that we're picking up here. So these are the bolas. And we're going to grab some safety hearts on our way here today. These enemies are called boneheads, or I like to call them zombie chickens. They're very terrifying. And there we go. So that's the first part of chapter 3 there. And we get another wow, you've done it. So we are now in another village called Miracola. In this village, we actually need to speak to everybody in order to be allowed into the chief's hut and trip that event flag. So I'm just going to go around, chat to all the NPCs. So we have to say that Miss Mirror is the best, otherwise, again, we can't progress. So we've talked to enough people now, so we should be allowed in. So the chief is basically telling us here that his daughter Bananette has been under a spell and she's been asleep for a long time, and that we need to go and speak to a mountain hermit in order to get a scroll in order to heal his daughter. And in return, he is going to kindly fix our ship for us. Before we leave, we just need to confirm that she is indeed asleep. Now's a good time if there's any donations to read. So I'm just going to be walking to the next next part of the chapter.
Well, thank you so much. We've had an $8 donation coming from B-Boy Bebop, who says, wow, look at Mike go. Good luck, nintendnat and 83KY. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So we're just going to damage boost through here. So this is our second dungeon of the chapter. We don't want to die here. We're dying. It's okay. It was bound to happen at some point. But luckily we don't go back too far, so it's not the worst place to take a death here. So yeah, taking deaths in the speedrun can be quite punishing depending on where the last checkpoint is and how far back you get sent. So ideally we do not want to die, but this is a marathon, so all things can happen and probably will happen. So these are very random enemies as well. So these are the gadflies, and they are a pain also because they move very randomly. And we're going to take some more safety hearts here too. Okay, so we've got some boss music coming up now, which tells us we're on the way to our next boss. So we're going to swap to the slingshot here. It just kills them in one hit instead of two. Just makes it a bit quicker. Those enemies in the lava there are called Mad Muddies. We're going to ignore that sub-weapon because we don't need it. And we'll see why that is in a second. As we go into our next boss. So this is Magma. So this is a fire monster who very logically lives in water. Makes perfect sense. And the way that we kill this boss, actually, we don't deal any damage to this boss whatsoever. So during a casual playthrough, it can be quite confusing because you've been given all these sub-weapons and it can take a while to figure out how to actually kill this boss. But what we do is we just hop around and we hit all of those switches and it causes the platform to fall away. And that is us done for the second dungeon. And we get another wow, you've done it. Because we're awesome. So there's a castle there on the right, but we're actually going to skip that for now. So it's kind of a little bit of a sequence break here. And we are actually going to go to a very hard part of the game. So this is Ghost Village and another dungeon. And this is where the difficulty really does start to ramp up. Both in the run and also on casual playthrough. So we have the more random moving enemies in here. So these are bone dogs, and sometimes you can find yourself chasing those around the room depending on which direction they choose to go in. There's actually something in this room, but we can't see it. And we start to get more difficult enemies now, so these take far more hits to kill with the yo-yo. So the buffering becomes really important here if you want to kill them quickly. And the enemies also start to give you more damage as well. So when I said there was something in that first room earlier, this is what I was referring to. So there's some hidden ghosts in here. There's actually a quicker strat through this room that some of the more advanced runners do. And they actually don't use the torch at all. They just know the pattern of the ghosts and how to buffer their movement through the room in order to get through without using the torch, which is very impressive. There's another ghost here, so we're just going to jump.
Scary part.
This is a scary part for me. Hopefully it'll be okay. Okay, we're through. Okay, the reason that's scary is because, and this has happened to me in a speedrun before, if you accidentally go up those stairs, it takes you all the way out of the level and all the way back to the beginning again. And you don't really want to do that in a speedrun or a marathon, so that room has been giving me some worries in the lead up of practice there. So yeah, the casual playthrough, there's false exits in here and different ways that you can go. So we're in a dark room here. There's lots of platforms that you can't see that I'm jumping across. You're in the casual playthrough, you're supposed to collect a lantern in order to light the dark room up, but this is since this is a speed run, we skip that part. There's two ways of doing that dark room. One is to buffer your movement through there, so you know when there's some sinking blocks in there, so you know when to land on those. What I do is actually kind of know what the sound of the sinking blocks is, so I listen for when they're kind of submerged, and then I know when it's safe to jump back up again when they're back up. There's an item in here that we don't want to forget before we leave. And that's our kind of reflective mirrors that we have here. So these are called dim hags. They're very similar to whiz robes from Zelda. And we just reflect their projectiles back at them. So I'm going to go into focus mode here. I think I've already lost track of which one I need to kill.
So one in the bottom.
In this one?
Bottom, yeah.
Perfect, thank you. So, A2, do you want to talk through the mummy room that we just did there?
So yeah, there are a bunch of mummies there, and there are two of them that you can keep track on when you enter the room, and you don't have to kill those two, but everybody else. And that opens the door here, so either you have to, if you lose track of them, you have to kill enough of them to open the door, or be able to keep track of them, and I was keeping my eye on there.
That's good, because I lost track. So.
Here's the boss.
Here we go. Here's Maxi. So we can't see Maxi, but we're gonna make her appear.
Let's see if it behaves.
Yeah, so we really kind of want Maxi to kind of just stay in one spot, not move around too much, so that we can deal damage whilst also avoiding the projectiles. This is not a good Maxi fight, but we made it. Just about. Okay, and we made it through Ghost Village without taking a death, which is unusual for me at the moment. So we're gonna drain the pond that's outside, and we're gonna find an item there that's gonna help us to progress. But like I said, we kind of did a bit of a sequence break here. Okay, well, you've done it. It's always a relief getting out of Ghost Village. Okay, and we have an item here in the pond, which is a crystal ball. So the castle that we moved past earlier, we're now going to go back to. So this is the town of Shikola, and only women are allowed to enter. So we're going to go and visit the fortune teller, who is going to give us a disguise so that we can enter. She's going to read our fortune as well. It's not looking good. Omens of disaster. Hopefully not. So we're now going to go and speak to the Queen of Shikola, and she is going to give us our first weapon upgrade of the game. She's happy that we killed the ghosts in the Horton Village, and we get our weapon, which is the shooting star, and we need full hearts in order to use the shooting star to its full potential. So we need all 6 of our hearts at this stage in the game.
Don't forget.
Thank you. So before we leave here, we have to speak to the head warrior. If we don't do this, we, again, can't continue. So she said that we need to shout abracadabra, jump 10 times at the tunnel and shout abracadabra in order for the path to open. If we forget to speak to head warrior, which again has happened to me in my runs, you get to the switch and nothing happens. So very important not to forget that. Lucky I have 83 here to remind me today. Okay, so here's the switch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Abracadabra! The abracadabra is very important. And we have some extra hearts here. So we ideally want to be finishing Ghost Village with 2 hearts remaining so that we can pick up those extra ones there. So we have a full health for the next bit. The challenge with the next part of Chapter 3 is that we need to basically keep full health here in order to keep our shooting star. So you can see these mudfish that used to take 2 hits earlier now only take 1 hit, so that's very handy. Oh, and I've took damage, so we're going to be in trouble. Oh no, we've got some.
Nice.
That was lucky. We got some stars. Yeah. And the reason we want all 6 hearts is it just makes the next dungeon, which is Hermit's Mountain, so much quicker because we've got the more powerful weapon, so we can kill all the enemies quicker. it can be quite big time loss without the 5 hearts. You can end up losing kind of 30 seconds to a minute in here if you don't keep full health. So it definitely does make a difference. You can get heart drops in this game, but the game is not always generous at the times when you need it. So you can't really rely on that as an option. So we have some sinking blocks in here. Just going to make our way through. And we have some more boss music. So there's some enemies in here called Froppers, and they're kind of quite random enemies as well, so we need to be very careful not to take damage from those. Well, so far so good. And the same with this gadfly, we want to make sure we avoid that as well. There's some, there are some hearts in that room if you need them. That's that timer there sort of freezes the blocks. So we're going to do an RNG manipulation here. So we're going to hold down, and that enables the Froppers to spawn more quickly so that we can progress through the room more quickly. So I think there's not much RNG manipulation in this game, but that's one of the ones that we can do. And we only needed to kill the middle goblin in that last room as well. I usually have trouble with those, but today it went okay. Our next enemy, so this is a big bully. So they do quite a lot of damage if you hit them. So we want to avoid that where possible. We did get a heart drop, a rare heart drop there. Oop. It's lucky that doesn't matter because we are now out of chapter 3. So this guy's is going to take us to the top of Hermit Mountain. And we get another "wow, you've done it." We can now get the spell that we need. Run, run, hurry, hurry. So we're back at Miracola, and we're gonna heal Bannernet. Bebob, Bobob. Boom, oh Bob. It doesn't work if you don't read it out, so. And there we go. We've got our ship repaired. And we made it out of chapter 3, which, as you can see, is very long. It's a huge proportion of the game. So we can relax for a bit now. Okay, into chapter 4, which is called Confession. So there's a small island up ahead. So we're just going to pop in here. We don't need to talk to everyone in here. We only need to talk to one person. So that's this person here in the top right. And he's spotted somebody who has been on a raft. I wonder who that could be.
I guess we'll find out.
We will.
The island looks kind of ominous there. Save the island.
Might be a sign of things to come. Oh no. Well, we appear to be in a whale's belly. Things are not going well for us. So this is Babu, who we saw on the very first island in the game. Babu was scared, so didn't come with us to start with, but now has come to find us. I just spoke to Babu twice there. So he also got swallowed by the whale, and he has dropped his lighter somewhere in this whale belly. And the plan is that we're going to find the lighter, we're going to set fire to the raft, and then we're going to get sneezed out of the whale. So this is kind of just really learning the kind of route and the sequence.
Looking for a lighter in the belly of a whale.
Shout out to Enigma Wave for inventing that great song. And here we are. Here's our enormous lighter that's bigger than Mike. But we have it. So we just need to head back now. Let's hope we don't end up like those fish there on the side. That's the first and last time I'll ever sing on stream. And here we go. It's getting smokier. Phew, we made it out. I have to tell you, Dr. J's last words. Evil aliens from a distant planet. Tell Mike to dip my letter in water. Do you understand? We're going to say no. Dr. J sent you a letter with a map of Sea Island a few weeks ago. Mike, I have to tell you, Dr. J's last words. Evil aliens from a distant planet. Tell Mike to dip my letter in water. We do. I think we understand. I think I know what we need to do here. So we had an incentive for this, which was met. Thank you very much for everyone that donated for this incentive. So we actually have the original letter here from the game, and we are actually going to do dip percent in this run. So I'm going to hopefully not spill water everywhere. And we're going to make the secret code appear that we need. And I'm going to try not to get water all over myself in the process. It is quite worn, this letter, so it doesn't show up super well. But I feel like hopefully it will show up well enough that we can get the code to progress. Without me getting water everywhere. So it is faint, but it is there. So this is now an official dip percent run. So 747 is the code that we need. So we can just about make that out here. They do kind of fade a bit over time. But thank you very much for everyone who hit that incentive for us to be able to get the original letter out like it's 1990. It does help if you type in the code correctly. So, which I've done wrong. This is the hardest boss in the game. This typing the digits in correctly. It's harder than it looks, I promise. Okay, here we go. So interesting point about kind of the letter and all of that stuff. We obviously it's 2023. You can Google stuff now, but in 1990, when if you got this game secondhand or you maybe rented it from a store, maybe you wouldn't have the letter with the actual cart itself. So lots of people probably got to that point and then couldn't progress any further. So I think the code was also eventually published in an issue of Nintendo Power as well for that reason. I
have another random fact about this code.
Ooh, do tell.
Even for yourself here, those on the Nintendo Switch VC release doesn't actually have any copy of the code included in any version at all. So there's no legitimate way for Nintendo Switch players to actually finish the game. So the fact that you have the letter means that you can legitimately finish it.
It's an official dip percent. Before I actually bought the physical copy of the game, I did have to Google what I was supposed to do there. But back in 1990, that was not such an option. Okay, so we are into chapter 5. Again, we are in a village called Belcola. We have to speak to almost everyone in here, apart from one person, in order to trip the event flag for us to speak to the chief again. And the other thing that I kind of probably should mention, the first thing I did before coming to here was I went to pick up a fresh worm, and the reason for that will be clear in a moment. So we say that we'll keep the secret. So Captain Bell fought some pirates back in the day and sacrificed his ship in order to save the island, but unfortunately it's blocking the strait, so we need to find a way to remove the ship so that we can actually get through. So this is where the worm comes into place. No gift, no chat, but luckily we have a gift. So we give the parrot the worm, and we've got some musical notes there in order to help us get into the next dungeon. Okay. So thanks to the parrot, we have the music notes for the organ, so we can now unlock the next dungeon. If you mess up the sequence of those notes, in order to get that to work, you actually have to leave the room and come back in again for it to reset. So ideally, you don't want to be making a mistake there in a run, because that will lose you some time. But it does happen. It's very easy to slip onto the wrong key. Chapter 5 dungeon is full of traps, mostly. So it's kind of just learning the patterns of the traps as we go. So yeah, we have a falling floor, we have some arrows. So we need to jump there. And then also again here. So this is kind of primarily execution based. Not too much RNG in this chapter. It's all just knowing what's coming. So there's a certain route through this floor out of this room, and you can tell which tiles to step on by the way the rats are moving. Just kill that snake to be on the safe side. Again, this is another chapter where you really don't want to take damage if you can avoid it. It can make the latter half of it really difficult if you are unlucky and lose a shooting star. So we have giant bowling balls. These are instant death if you hit them, so very scary. It does happen. It may happen. I hope it doesn't. So there's 3 bowling balls. So the blue one's the slowest, the green one's a little bit quicker, and there's one at the end which is legitimately terrifying, as you'll see. So we need to kill the snakes in here, but we don't need to kill the bat. The bat's usually a pain, as predicted. It's living up to its reputation. Okay, next scary bowling ball. So chapter 5 is quite unforgiving. If you die before the checkpoint, it will send you all the way back. So the next room we're about to go in is the checkpoint. And so once we've got here, we can relax a bit, because even if we do take a death, we're not being sent all the way back. I'm just going to damage boost this one here. So yeah, if you're going to die in this chapter, it's best to do it after this checkpoint. It's okay, we get some more hearts here, luckily. Which is good, because this room is a little bit RNG based.
Not a scary one.
Yeah, it's even more scary because I have a red bowling ball and I don't have shooting star. This is how not to do this.
Yeah, the other ones will go off screen, but this one will
Yeah,
stay
this
on screen.
one just stays on screen. It moves really fast. I don't have the full range of the shooting star. I've only got a yo-yo, so this is quite scary, to be honest. Okay, go, 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 go. Oh my goodness, that was quite stressful. And again, this is a bit slower because we don't have the full range of the weapon there. Okay, that's it's nice to be out of there. Kind of all went a bit wrong at the end. Okay, so we found the switch. So we are unfortunately going to sink this ancient piece of history so that we can get our submarine through, which makes no sense whatsoever logically, but we're going to go with it. 07's in chat, everyone.
I think I'm supposed to stand with my hand on my heart for this, aren't I? So.
And there we go.
There we go. I feel very patriotic now.
And wow, you've done it. And there we go. Poor old ship. Gone forever. Okay, we're kind of on the home straight now. So we're into Chapter 6. Chapter 6, a bit like Chapter 3, pretty difficult. Lots of bosses. We'll just have to see how we go. So the first bit is just like an overworld part, so we're just gonna... it's kind of like a water maze, so we just, again, just learn the sequence of where we're supposed to go. There's lots of islands that you can go in if you want to do a bit of an explore, but unfortunately this is a speed run, so we have to skip some things. But there is an island with a skeleton in it, and there is also another one with a giant apple in it. Should you be inclined to visit those. This is the bit of the run where I kind of relax a bit. So we've got some signal information there for where we can submerge our submarine. Ooh. We don't want that message to pop up too many times because that will lose a signal. So the route that I've just taken there is the quickest route without having that dialogue box popping up all the time.
Yeah, the dialogue will tell you where to head, like what direction and how many unit of measurement. I don't remember, but still,
it's like
the direction.
East and west, and how many tiles, I guess.
Yeah, I guess so. So was hugging the wall that does the trick for not it popping up if you hug the walls there.
Yeah.
During the water section.
So this is normally we can only jump like for one tile, but now we can jump for two with this anklet here.
During this one room where you pick it up. So now it's gone once again.
So yeah, don't think you have it permanently. There is a quicker strat for this room, but I'm taking the safe one. We technically only need to kill the 3 red mummies in that room, but it is generally safer to kill all of them. I've gone for the slower strat today. So we've got another anklet. So yeah, Mike can't swim. We haven't. I don't want to say the words, but we haven't drowned Mike today. But it usually happens at least once in a speed run that I'm doing. So there's a lot of water and lava, and it's very easy to miss an input and end up taking a plunge.
So we buffer a few hits there on the left side money when we start hitting them, so we can kill it faster after they come around.
Yeah. I keep forgetting to pick up the anklet in here, so I thought I'd do that first today. But if you move left into this room, then it increases the chances of the Turboss, which is this boss from moving down. So again, this is kind of RNG based, so we want the... it's a bit like Octo the Huge from Chapter 2, so we want to make sure that we get the boss dropping down as soon as possible. It's possible to do that in one cycle, but 2 is pretty good, actually. Another anklet in a dark room here. And this is one of the best weapons in the game. So this is the cleats, and as you can see, they're awesome.
Yeah, using it will hit every enemy on the screen once.
So we're going to use them again shortly as well. Missed a hit there. Oh, and again. So yeah, we're going to, as 83 said, it hits all of the enemies once, so we're going to use it again in this room. That was unfortunate mummy movement there. And then we're going to use it in here too to get rid of these snakes. It's probably my favourite weapon, I think. So this is Broken Joe. So we're going to use the baseballs to throw into his mouth in order to do damage. So we need to like time the jumps with the baseball throws and avoiding the projectiles that are coming. We don't want to run out of baseballs. That has happened to me as well. It's the only way to kill that boss is with the baseballs. And another wow, you've done it. So chapter 6 is split up into 2 parts. So we've had the 6.1 and we're just about to go into 6.2. So this is the second dungeon.
Yeah, I think we have a time for messages here.
Wonderful, thank you so much. I just wanted to point out that we are $46 away from reaching $39,000 raised for Alzheimerfonden. So don't forget to keep getting your donations in. All of your money goes directly to Alzheimerfonden, Sweden's national fundraising charity for Alzheimer's and other dementia-related diseases. And when you donate, don't forget to assign your donations to incentives. It's on the right-hand side of the donation screen. Make sure you scroll over if you're on a mobile, or do it on a desktop or a laptop and you'll be able to see it much clearer. But make sure you get those incentives done as well so that we can get more cool things like the dip percent that happened here happening on later runs.
So we have another sub-weapon here. So we have which we're going to use quite a lot. So these are called asterixes. And then you fire them off and then you press the B button again to split them. And we're going to use them a lot through this chapter. So those fuzzballs that are in that room, they don't actually give you damage, but if you get hit by them, then you are not able to use any of your weapons at all. So that can be quite a huge time loss in that room potentially.
Yeah, it takes quite a while to get back your ability to shoot your weapon.
I usually end up running around like mad, losing loads of time there. And that was another boss. So this is very boss heavy, this section, called Hoodie Doll. It's just a case of avoiding the projectiles. The other thing to mention about them is that you basically can't really take damage from them because they do take, I forget how many hearts, but it's a lot. So it's quite easy to die if you make contact with the... so close. I'm going to get these hearts today. So this room is kind of a bit of a troll room because it has a hidden exit. And if you kill all of the 4 mummies in there, it does open a room to the top, but actually it's a dead end. Yeah, we don't want to be taking damage here. That was scary. Okay. That one's a bit trickier because we have 2 of them to contend with. And we are straight into yet another boss room. So these are the Sumachos, so we use our asterisks to kill those. They also shoot projectiles, but they're being kind to us today. And they didn't really shoot any, which is good. Usually you have to kind of avoid the projectiles whilst also firing off the shots. Okay, so we're now deep into the caves. Pretty ominous. But it's okay, because we have found Uncle Steve. So there's a big rock, and there was a cipher, and there's a planet called Argonia. And the Argonians sent their last escape pod to Earth, and that was carrying 3 magic cubes. And some aliens really want to get hold of those cubes, and so they abducted our uncle. And our uncle has asked us if we would go and get those 3 cubes back from the space aliens. So we're now potentially about to encounter some aliens here. So this is probably the hardest bit of the whole run, I would say. This is called the bottleneck. Even the top runners in the game die here, so anything can happen. So I'm probably gonna go into focus mode a bit here. So far, so good.
Yeah, this is the harder route, not the hardest one, but there's a place where you can get more hearts and a pair of cleats, which will help at the boss. So
okay, so
we're skipping the cleats here now.
Yeah, so there is a safer strat you can do, which is definitely recommended for like when you're starting out learning the game. We made it through the bottleneck, so that's pretty much the hardest bit of the game. We just got through there, but we still have a boss to contend with, and I only have 4 hearts, which is not a lot for this boss because we have 2 of these fat bots here shooting projectiles. Each of the projectiles will cause 1 heart of damage, so we really do not want to be getting hit here. Otherwise, we have to do all of that again. Yeah, I think we're going to... Yeah, I had a feeling that was going to happen. So I have to... we have to do the bottleneck again. We'll try one more on hard mode, and then if we don't make it through, we'll do the safer strats. We have time.
Yeah. It's mostly about how much hearts you can bring to the boss fight.
Yeah, definitely. It makes a huge difference.
Getting through the area in the bottom screen coming up soon with the aliens, and then the next screen with the bikers.
Oh, doing the bottleneck once is bad enough, but now we're having to do it again.
Yeah, and that it's better to get shot than tanking and direct hit with the enemies.
Oof. So this bit is quite RNG heavy in that these pink space bikers, sometimes you get just one or two, sometimes you can get several from both directions. So that's a very difficult section. I think we had kind of okayish RNG there for both.
Yeah, it felt good
both
there, yeah.
attempts. Yeah. Not too shabby. I hope I don't die here again. I'm scared now. Okay. I just thought I would just go for it. I was just like, if I can just kill one, then we'll be okay. This bot is not really playing ball, to be honest. Okay, we made it.
Yeah.
Oh. Phew. Okay, so like chapter 6, chapter 7 is also split into 2 parts. So that's 7-1, which, yeah, like I said, that's where runs can really go very wrong. So we've got 1 magic cube so far, and this is where we are going to get our second and last weapon upgrade of the game. So we now have the supernova. For this, we need the whole of the top line of hearts to be full to use it. But yeah, super powerful. And it makes easier work of some of the enemies in here. I think the music in this part of the game is fantastic. This alien can be a pain sometimes. Not bad. So there's 4 turrets in those rooms. There's a couple of different patterns that can kind of happen in there. So we're going to grab a ray gun. So there's these kind of secret walls in the spaceship that you can break open. So yeah, if you look for the cracks in the walls, then you can find handy things in there. And that is what we just picked up there is called vitamin X, and that actually gives you more than full hearts, but only temporarily. So there's the kind of electric beam there. We can't, if we touch that, then we will get damage. Okay, and we're into our first boss of Chapter 7 too. So the ray gun's the quickest way to do this. There's another crack in the wall up there, so there's another ray gun in there. Play it safe here. If you land on those tiles when they're open, then that is instant death, so we definitely want to avoid that. And this is quite a difficult section as well, so this is the hot tiles. They do a lot of damage if you hit them, as I just did. And this is my least favourite boss in the game. There are better strats to do this than I'm doing, but I find this one works for me. So we want to hit the switch there, and then that makes the back fall away. And then we want to encourage Ostroid to fall off the edge. And there we go, we are out of Chapter 7. Wow, you've done it. So now we have a little kind of maze section, lots of different stairwells.
Overly long maze like always.
Yep. Overly long maze like always. Not sure what the purpose of this section is other than to make a runner who's on PB pace very nervous. And here we have our second magic cube. And we are now, our hearts are going to fill up. So, I mean, obviously, you want to finish 7-2 with as many hearts as possible because this is a huge time loss part of the run. It's also even worse than that because we get this heart refill, but it's not really a heart refill. When we go to the next section, we end up with 3 hearts anyway. So it's a scam. And the spaceship is taking off. So we're now heading into Chapter 8. So this is the last final part of the run. Can be quite quick if things go to plan, and hopefully they will today. The alien spaceship is circling the Earth. Hurry up and find the last magic cube. Here we go. This is Zoda. You hear an evil voice. Haha, I am the Prime Invader Zoda. Come on, try and beat me. You'll be defeated like the Argonians. We'll destroy you. Come on, Mike. Your head is aching. You jam bananas in your ears. You shout, get out of my mind, alien scum. If you have any banana emotes, then pop those in chat. So this is Zoda in the first phase of the boss fight. So it's just Zoda's head. And this is a bit like Super Mario Bros. 3 in that there are hands. And each hand will obviously cost time, so we want to avoid the hands. And the weapon here is the projectiles are Zoda's eyeballs. Perfectly normal. probably needs to see an ophthalmologist for this.
So the hands are random here, so they can happen or they can't happen.
Yeah. So the thing I'm doing here, pressing down, is actually a manip to reduce the likelihood of hands appearing. So that's why I was holding down here. Didn't happen for me today, but that's all right. So I'm just going to be heading through the next bit here, just killing some aliens and stuff. If there was anything you wanted to read for donations.
Oh, absolutely. We've just had a couple of donations come in, actually. We've had a $5 donation come in from Sustain, who says, wow, you did it. When world record, Kappa. Thank you for that donation. And a $20 donation come in from Happy Time Harry, who says, I've got bananas in my ears in celebration of a great run. GG.
Thank you very much. So there's two last kind of bosses that we're about to encounter. I won't spoiler the last one, but the first one is this reactor core here that we need to destroy. It's quite tricky if you get bad RNG like I am getting at the moment. Can we do it? We've done it. Okay. I think I might pick this up today to be on the safe side. We can just farm some health here, which might be handy. Very much playing on the safe strats today. And here is Zoda in his final form. Zoda's quite scary, not just in appearance, but if you make contact with Zoda, it's instant death. So we really want to avoid doing that. It's all the way back to the beginning of the chapter if that happens. It's an NES game after all, so it's tends to be on the more difficult side. So we're just gonna play it very safe here. Zoda can sometimes be a bit more aggressive, jumping around more. So we just hope that doesn't happen today. So the shooting star is the supernova is the best weapon for this. It's the most powerful weapon for doing damage to Zoda. There we go.
Time.
Time. I just want to say thank you to 83KY for keeping me company on comms today. Thank you to all the organisers for ESA, all the volunteers for putting this all on. It's a huge undertaking, and it's been a lot of fun so far. And I just want to shout out the Startropics and SMB35 community and my other half for putting up with me playing this constantly for the past few weeks in preparation for this event. And that's me. Thank you very much, everyone.
nintendnat, thank you so much for that wonderful run of Startropics there. Stay tuned. We will be back with you after this short break.